Conservatives in Congress willing to fight for those rights, and we're fighting. We will never fail, and we will always protect your Second Amendment.
President Trump, yes, yesterday in Dallas, speaking to the NRA. Someone else that was there was Dan Bongino, former NYPD officer, former Secret Service agent, and, of course, host of the Dan Bongino Show, and NRA TV contributor. Dan, always good to see you. What was the mood like yesterday?
Abby, they love this president. I mean, it was palpable. You know, I know commentators come on sometime at other conventions and they say things like that. Oh, you could feel the... No, you really could. I mean, people love this president. Even my wife, who was with me, she came down, and she came down after me. She goes, my gosh, she goes, everybody's talking about President Trump. I think they see him as a real defender of their rights, their Second Amendment rights. And Abby, this is important. I think they feel like their Second Amendment rights are legitimately under, a 30-front attack here, and they see the president is standing in the way of that.
Well, Dan, part of that 30-front attack is in the courts and the special counsel and the showdown happening there. But yesterday, there was kind of a break in the clouds, if you will, as a federal judge, T.S. Eliot basically told Mueller's prosecution, not Elliott, T.S. Eliot, sorry, Ellis, my apologies. He ripped into the Mueller team, the prosecutors, accusing them of not really wanting to go after Paul Manafort and his misdeeds, but instead targeting Team Trump. Dan, you've been warning about this from the beginning. What do you make of this judge?
You know, this judge is my new hero. If I see this guy, I'm asking him for his autograph because this, and I'm not an autograph collector either. This is the first guy to come out and say, this judge, and say, hey, where's the case? Where's the darn case? We've been told for months that there's some big scandal to overturn an election. Trump spoke with the Russians. They colluded to trade all this information. Nobody's produced a scintilla of evidence. The judge finally comes up and says, hey, fellas, do you have an actual case here? And what does the defense say? The government says, well, there's a scope document, but we don't think you need to see that. And the judge, Pete, says, I'll decide that. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, he said, let me be the judge.
Yeah, literally.
I'll be the judge of
Dan,
that. Thank
on
you.
that point, the New York Times this morning, this massive story about a federal judge saying, this enough is enough here. Page A13 at the bottom, federal judge questions counsel's pursuit of Manafort. How many... maybe dozens of stories have they done on A1, A4, everywhere else. But I'm opening the paper because on the op-ed page, by the way, one Adam Schiff has an op-ed, don't take the bait on impeachment. He says basically, let's not give people the idea Democrats want to, quote unquote, nullify an election. Hasn't that been what Adam Schiff has been doing for over a year now?
And listen, Adam Schiff's a fraud. I'm sorry. He's a fraud. And I say that and I mean it. I know those are harsh words, but Adam Schiff is he's not a stupid man. This is a smart guy. Adam Schiff has access to information on his intel committee, Ed. You and I don't. He is known for at least a year now, if not longer, that this collusion story with the Russians is a hoax. And yet he has gone on every media channel he can, puts his makeup on, does his thing, and has said that Trump colluded with the Russians. The only reason he's writing this op-ed now, I believe, is because he's starting to see that the American public, based on polling data, is catching on that this is a hoax and is getting frustrated. Schiff is a fraud. He's not doing the right thing. He's doing the easy thing.
So you're saying the Democrats closest to the information, closest to the evidence outside of the Mueller probe are starting to realize we've looked at it. It ain't there. We better recalibrate. Otherwise, it's going to boomerang back at us for a false narrative.
Pete, not only is it not there, this was a setup. I've only been saying this for a year and a half. Look at the information. The Trump team was set up. There were crimes committed here, Pete. There were leaks of highly classified information. There were crimes committed with the trading of classified information in the Clinton email scandal. Those crimes needed to be covered. They had to set up Trump to keep the attention on him and away from them. You watch. This is all going to come out in the wash. They're going to be horrified, the Democrats, at the truth.
Well, the federal judge in Alexandria yesterday seems to have a lot of those same questions, Dan. We will see where all of this goes. It's always good to see you, though. Have a great Saturday.
Thanks for getting up early, Dan.
Guys.
And you're right,
Yeah,
it is
you got
T.S. Ellis, not
Yeah, I was teasing you. I wasn't trying to correct you. I just thought it was funny. Famous author, close, you know.
And you're perfect with names, so you're good to
Yeah, I
clarify.
usually am perfect.
All right. There are some other headlines we're following. I want to bring you, starting on a serious note, a manhunt intensifying at this hour for a gunman who shot an ATF agent in the face. Police now conducting raids along the south side of Chicago, sending the suspect this message.
We will find you. We will knock on every door, talk to every witness, watch every